If they were astonished at what they saw, their captors were even more astonished. 4 tall men stood there. 2 had spears in their hands with broad, bright heads. 2 had bows, almost of their own height, and great quivers of long green feathered arrows. All had swords at their sides, and were clad in green and brown of varied hues, as if the better to walk unseen in the glades of Ithilien. Green gauntlets covered their hands, and their faces were hooded and masked with green, except for their eyes, which were very keen and bright. At once Frodo thought of Boromir, for these men were like him in stature and bearing, and in their manner of speech. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Two Towers. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of LOTR Explained. In this episode, I am going to analyze one of my favorite factions in Tolkien's Middle-earth, the Ithilien Rangers. A very exciting topic indeed. The Ithilien Rangers are first seen when they capture Frodo and Sam in the Two Towers. Similar to the Dunedain, the Ithilien Rangers learn many of their skills and their stealth from the elves. Few in number, but not lacking in stature, the Rangers of Ithilien served and protected Gondor from enemies in the east. A long time was spent fighting both the Haradrim and the forces of Sauron to protect their lands. As one could take from the name, these rangers reside in the lands of Ithilien, located to the east of Osgiliath and Minas Tirith, and south of the Black Gate. A quote from Robert Foster's The Complete Guide to Middle-earth describes Ithilien as, "The area of Gondor between Anduin and Ethel Duath, bounded on the south by Paros, divided into North and South Ithilien. Ithilien was originally the fief of Isildur. It bore the brunt of attacks on Gondor from the east and south, beginning with Sauron's capture of its chief city, Minas Ithil, in the Second Age, 3429. The city was freed, but its capture by the Nazgul in the Third Age, 2002, caused many of the remaining inhabitants of Ithilien to flee, and more fled when Mordor orcs began to ravage the land in 2901. The desertion was not complete, however, until 2954, when Mount Doom burst into flame and Sauron openly declared himself. Before this time, secret places such as Hennet Annûn had been built, and the Rangers of Ithilien harried Sauron's force in Ithilien until the War of the Ring. Despite their few numbers, the Ithilien Rangers were surprisingly effective at keeping the forces of evil at bay. Using tactics of guerrilla warfare and keeping their enemy at a distance with their longbows and incredible archery skills, these rangers were able to protect Gondor until Sauron's forces were unleashed upon the west in the latter days of the War of the Ring. They named themselves Mablung and Damrod, soldiers of Gondor, and they were rangers of Ithilien, for they descended from folk who lived in Ithilien at one time, before it was overrun. From such men the Lord Denethor chose his forebears, who crossed the Anduin secretly, how or where they would not say, to harry the orcs and other enemies that roamed between Ethel Duath and the river. The Rangers of Ithilien were led by their captain Faramir, son of Denethor, and his heir to the stewardship of Gondor, after his older brother Boromir was killed. Despite Faramir's importance regarding the Ithilien Rangers, I'm going to talk about him in his own separate video another time, because he is one of my favorite characters, and I feel I need an entire video to explain him properly. The Ithilien Rangers' main operating base was Hennet Annûn, which was a complex of caves that was impossible to find. The ring-bearer Frodo and his companion Sam were both blindfolded while being led to this location, because of its secrecy, and it was so important to the Rangers. Within Hennet Annûn was the Forbidden Pool, which was very sacred to the Ithilien Rangers. Gollum, Frodo, and Sam were the only outsiders who ever entered Hennet Annûn and lived, for it remained hidden from the enemy in all the days of the War of the Ring. The Ithilien Rangers served as scouts in a vital mission, protecting the outskirts of Gondor from its enemies. Through brilliant tactics and secrecy, these Rangers of Ithilien succeeded for a very long time defending Gondor, and that is why they are one of my favorite parts of Tolkien's Middle-earth. Well everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of LOTR Explained. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. For more content, please leave suggestions of what the next episode should be in the comments below. I apologize for any mispronunciations in this video. If there were any, it was an honest mistake. If you haven't already, please check out the Tolkienist podcast by clicking on my channel and going to the playlist. Farewell.
found.